Okay, so clearly there is one team that can go on to win from here unless there is a miracle, and that is New Zealand. After 12 years, India is in this kind of a strange situation. So there are two ways to look at it. पहला तो ये है कि न्यूजीलैंड बहुत ही अच्छा क्रिकेट खेला है and India did not play well. So credit to New Zealand. That is one way to look at it. The second way to look at it is look at some of the shots. New Zealand's batting, look at the way Tom Latham applied himself, and look at some of the shots played by the Indian batters. Look at the way Tom Latham applied himself. Look at the way some of the other New Zealand batters tried to apply themselves as well, and compare them with the shots played by Virat Kohli, played by Rohit Sharma, played by Rishabh Pant, and then played by Sarfaraz Khan, and then you know what we are talking about. And that brings us to the clear cut question that we are asking on this particular show. By the way, we know where this test match is headed unless there is a miracle. Does India need Cheteshwar Pujara in Australia? Because if you see 2018 and 2021, it is Cheteshwar Pujara who really stood up in Australia and made the difference. It was not Virat Kohli. It was not Rohit Sharma. Ajinkya Rahane, yes, in Melbourne in that one test match, and some of the others contributed. But the real difference, if you see between the two sides, if the one batter who stood up, it was Cheteshwar Pujara. आज अगर हम लोग देखें, nobody was prepared to look ugly. Virat Kohli played one of the most ridiculously poor shots over a full toss and got bowled. Rishabh Pant missed a half tracker. Sarfaraz Khan played it straight to mid-off, and when there is a deep mid-off being positioned for him, he plays it there. So in such a scenario, with all my guests there, the question that I am asking is, does India need Cheteshwar Pujara back for Australia? After you are there in the stadium, you were there, you watched the action. Do we need someone who can grind it out, play conventional cricket? Because clearly this batting is found wanting, not once, but multiple times now. 46 all out aberration. Now it happens again, 150 all out, and the match is almost with New Zealand. After your first thoughts.
It's a tough question, Boria, to be honest, because Pujara has not been part of the Indian team's scheme of things for a while now, and but the thing that goes in his favor is he's still an active player. In the last Ranji Trophy match he played, that was about less than a week back. He scored a double century, so he is in touch. He's among the runs. He knows how to score runs and he knows how to grind it out. So I think the answer your question to answer your question, I would say that India would like somebody like Pujara. Whether it has to be Pujara, it's difficult to say because we have people like we have others who are performing in domestic cricket. I mean, and also for India A. For example, Sai Sudarshan of Tamil Nadu, he also scored a double century in the previous Ranji Trophy round. So, but yes, I think the Indian team needs a drastic change in the sense that you need something or somebody to shake it up. And Pujara, somebody like Pujara, can be a solution. But whether it's him, I wouldn't like to take that call right now.
रोहित आत्रो कह रहे हैं कि पुजारा जैसे कोई है कौन? क्या साई सुदर्शन आपका वो रिप्लेसमेंट हो सकता है बेसिस वन रणजी ट्रॉफी डबल 100? क्या वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया जाकर वो पुजारा जैसे खेल सकते हैं? आर यू वरीड अबाउट इट? डू यू थिंक नो इट्स फाइन, 2 टेस्ट मैच हम हार गए या एक टेस्ट मैच हार गए, एक टेस्ट मैच हारने की तरफ हम बढ़ चुके हैं अभी? दिस इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, ऑस्ट्रेलिया जाके यही बैटिंग लाइनअप ठीक खेल लेंगे. आपको क्या लगता है? डू वी नीड समवन लाइक पुजारा और इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी एट ऑल? दिस इज जस्ट अ मैटर ऑफ सोशल मीडिया डिबेट. रोहित जुगलान.
बुरेदा, इस समय के हिसाब से अगर आप पूछोगे तो सब लोग शायद यही बोलेंगे कि बिकॉज ये बहुत ही रीसेंट जो कुछ हो रहा है बहुत रीसेंसी में हो रहा है. अगर मैं थोड़ा सा अपना कूल डाउन करके सोचूं तो मैं ये सोचूंगा कि मैं 2 साल पीछे क्यों जाऊं वापस. मैं WTC फाइनल लास्ट खेले थे चेतेश्वर पुजारा और उसके बाद हमने बिल्डअप करना शुरू करा. फिर क्या मैं ये चाहूंगा कि नहीं, इंग्लैंड का टूर है उसके बाद अगले साल, तो वहां पर भी जो पुराने प्लेयर्स जिनका रिकॉर्ड अच्छा है हम उनको भी लेकर के जाएं. अगर ऐसा हो रहा होता, सपोज ऐसा हो रहा होता कि आपने विराट कोहली को ड्रॉप कर दिया होता और विराट कोहली का 2018 सीरीज बहुत जबरदस्त गया था, तो क्या आप विराट कोहली को भी फिर लेकर आते? इट्स ऑल अबाउट कि आपका थॉट प्रोसेस क्या है, क्या आप फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग सोच रहे हो या आपको ये लग रहा है कि नहीं ये सीरीज जीतना आपके लिए बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है। और फिर क्या पुजारा अगर वहां पे भी रन लगा देते हैं, जैसे पुजारा ने जो पहला वाला बीजीटी हमने जीता था वहां पर उन्होंने पहले ही टेस्ट मैच में 100 मारकर आपको एक तरीके से फ्रंट फुट पर लाकर रख दिया था। दूसरा टेस्ट मैच आप हार गए, वहां पे विराट का 100 आया था, बट पुजारा वाज कंसिस्टेंट। अगला वाला जो सीरीज था उसमें पुजारा का इमेंस कंट्रीब्यूशन नहीं है, लेकिन उनका वक्त बिताना वहां पे, रन्स नहीं है लेकिन टाइम स्पेंड करना बहुत ज्यादा गेम चेंजर रहा था। तो मैं वही सोच रहा हूँ कि क्या अगर पुजारा फिर इस बार जाकर सपोज आपको एडिलेड में एक पिंक बॉल के साथ एक 100 दे देते हैं, एक गैबा में 100 दे देते हैं, तो क्या फिर आप पुजारा को आगे भी कंटिन्यू करोगे? क्या आप WTC फाइनल भी खिलाओगे? क्या आप इंग्लैंड भी लेकर के जाओगे? फिर शुभमन गिल का क्या होगा जो नंबर 3 पर पिछले 2 साल से लगातार कोशिश कर रहा है कि उसको ऊपर आना है, और ऐसा नहीं है कि उसने रन्स नहीं बनाए हैं। ऑब्वियसली जो अभी हो रहा है वो हर किसी को ये इस थॉट प्रोसेस में डालेगा कि यार क्या ये बैटिंग, हाँ इस बैटिंग के साथ जो प्रॉब्लम लग रही है वो ये लग रही है कि ये 7-8 डॉट बॉल खेलने के बाद इनको एक रिलीज शॉट चाहिए ही चाहिए। पुजारा के पास वो टेम्परामेंट है कि नहीं अब मैं 25 डॉट बॉल भी इन अ रो खेल सकता हूं, मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। समटाइम्स रवि शास्त्री यूज्ड टू सेंड मैसेजेस फ्रॉम ड्रेसिंग रूम कि भाई इसको बोलो रन भी बनाने हैं। इस टीम में कोई भी ऐसा नहीं है जिसके लिए रवि शास्त्री को किसी को भेजना पड़े ड्रेसिंग रूम से कि भाई रन भी बनाने हैं। यहाँ पर तो ये है कि आप थोड़ा सा रोक कर खेल सकते हो क्या। आज अगर आप देखो ऊपर से नीचे तक शुभमन गिल और यशस्वी जायसवाल ने जो 40 ऑड रन स्टार्ट में मारे, बहुत प्यारे रन, बहुत अच्छे से रन आ रहे थे शुरुआत में, बट वो एक विकेट गिरने शुरू हुए तो उसके बाद, और वो दोनों डिफेंसिव शॉट, खासतौर पर शुभमन गिल अटैकिंग शॉट खेल के आउट नहीं हुए, शुभमन गिल डिफेंस कर रहे थे। लेकिन उसके बाद, और विराट कोहली पिछले 3, मैं श्रीलंका में था, शामिक दा को याद होगा, श्रीलंका में भी स्वीप करते हुए विराट कोहली ऐसे ही आउट हुए थे, व्हाइट बॉल था। फिर अभी आप देखो शाकिब अल हसन के अगेंस्ट आई थिंक कानपुर टेस्ट था जहां पे वो स्वीप मारने के चक्कर में इसी तरीके से आउट हुए, एंड नाउ दिस। तो ये जो रेपिटेटिव ऑकरेंस हो रहे हैं ना, एंड सेम गोज विद रोहित शर्मा आल्सो, तो दो आपके जो स्टार बैटर्स है ना, उनके रन से भी ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम मुझे उनके मोड ऑफ डिसमिसल से है। वो जिस
तो
तरीके से
यही सवाल मैं अगर शोमिक के पास ले जाऊं कि शोमिक, वी आर सेइंग दैट वी आर लुकिंग बियॉन्ड पुजारा, जो रोहित कह रहे हैं इनका ये जो आर्गुमेंट है, एंड देयर इज अ सेंस इन दैट इज व्हाई दिस मैटर ऑफ डिबेट दैट should we go back to Pujara because we are looking ahead. But if I have to play devil's advocate, what has Virat Kohli done in the last 4 years that he is continuously persisted with and Pujara got dropped? Is it because he's Virat Kohli? Is it because he has 25 million social media following? Is it because he scores in white ball cricket? Is it because he's the poster boy of Indian cricket and Indian cricket's biggest brand? Is it because he's what he does in white ball kind of reflects in red ball and Pujara doesn't do that? Why is it that Pujara was singled out or Rahane was singled out while Virat was persisted with? Somebody who has an average of 30 in home conditions, 21 innings, 19 times out against the spinners, then clearly that is also a matter of worry. So why is it that there is differential treatment between Virat Kohli and Cheteshwar Pujara? Shomik?
शमिक दा, आई थिंक आप म्यूट में हैं। शमिक दा,
you're on mute. You're on mute. Okay, before Shomik, can you hear me? No, I can't hear you. Rejoin. I'll ask the same question of Devashish Sen. Devashish, same question to you. Is it Shomik? Come on. Can you hear me, Shomik?
Yes.
Now we can't.
Basically,
Arekbar join karo. Devashish, the same question for you.
Okay. Yeah, Boria, what I feel is that the key for Indian batters in Australia will be to wear out these Australian pacers, which Pujara did admirably well in the last 2 series win that we had in Australia. Means playing 1,258 balls and 928 balls. If I can look at the stats in last 2 series, and that played a huge role. Means wearing out the Australian pace attack will be key for India to do well. Yes, Rohit rightly said that at times he gets stuck. He does not score. Means obviously he plays 30, 40 balls without scoring run. But if you look at test match is about 5 days. So you need batters who has that technique, who has that grit, and who can buy time. Because test match is all about buying time, not about just scoring. I mean, so I think in that case, Pujara, at least for the Border Gavaskar Trophy, he should be brought back. And one might argue that it's like looking back at times, but for a big marquee series like Australia, keeping in mind his success there, one should immediately bring back Pujara in the test side.
Shomik, if you can hear us, so we have divided opinion. Atro doesn't want to take a position on this. He's saying someone like Pujara. Rohit is kind of is still in a quandary. He's saying that but does that mean that we are actually going back? Will you continue with him for England? Devashish is taking a position that you need Pujara. I'll go to Gargi, but what is your position on this, Shomik? And is there preferential treatment, or Pujara was sort of pushed out of the team because he just plays red ball cricket and there's not much to him in terms of brand? Shomik Chakraborty.
Yes, of course. Pujara doesn't have millions of Instagram followers, means millions of Twitter followers. Indian cricket has always been like that, and Ramachandra Guha has pointed out the issue when he was a member of COA. Indian cricket has always been a prisoner of star culture. So that aside, leaving it to me, someone who has covered, who has been covering Test cricket for more than 25 years, who has sort of covered 100 Test matches, I think Pujara should be one of the first names on the team sheet. And I will give you a couple of examples. One is a recent one. Last year only, England brought back Moeen from out of the cold for the Ashes. It was horses for courses. And they came back from 2-0 down to square the series 2-2. And unless there was rain in Manchester, they would have won the Ashes. Number one, Moeen Ali, after Jack Leach got injured, Moeen Ali had sort of retired from red ball cricket. They brought him back. It was horses for courses. And I go back to the early 1980s, about 42 years back. Before Pakistan series in 1982, Mahinda Ramannath, his career was written off after his failure against Team Hughes' Australia. He was out hit wicket against Jeff Dymock. And his career was sort of written off. There was a trial game going on Firoz Shah Kotla, and Sunil Gavaskar happened to be there. Sunil Gavaskar saw him bat, Mahinda Ramannath bat in the trial game. And at that time, Sunil Gavaskar was Indian cricket. So he insisted that I need Mahinda Ramannath for the Pakistan series. And for the next two series, it was Mahinda Ramannath's best. Imran Khan called him the best player against fast bowling in the world. So it's horses for courses. In Australia, it's not only about facing the fast bowlers. We should remember the way he neutralized Nathan Lyon by using his feet in the last two series. It was fantastic. The problem with the modern debate.
Come back to you. Shomik, so your position is clear. Gargi, what is your position on this? Again, something that you must remember, Australia is also talking about. David Warner suggested he wants to come back because it's horses for courses. He's suggesting I am willing to come back because, Marcus Harrison, the other fellow, does not create confidence. Steve Smith, Michael Clark is on record yesterday saying Smith should not open. What is your position on Pujara? Do you reckon Pujara should be brought back? India should at least consider getting Pujara back, seeing what is going on? Or you're like, no, this is the team that should be persisted with. So what if we have lost this series? This is an aberration. 12 years we did not lose. Sometime we had to lose. What is your position on this, Gargi Rao?
Quite confusing situation over here if you're asking about Pujara coming back. Because at one point you think about the way that Pujara was pushed out of the squad. There's nothing wrong that he did, and it's unfortunate what happened, but he's still a specialist. Do we have a test specialist batter right now in the Indian setup? Yes, there are a few talents in domestic cricket, but it's too late to kind of bring them in now in international cricket and groom them for BGT. It's too close. I don't think it's we have enough time to try all these combinations or experiments right now. Can you bring back Pujara at this point? I don't think so. I don't think that can happen again. you need someone like Pujara to come in and bat and take hold of the innings and bat for long, and have someone who you can bat around. You need that batter in the Indian setup right now. We don't have anyone that's sticking around clearly, but no, I don't think I would get Pujara back at this point.
Atreyu, if I can sort of tweak the question a little bit for you, you said someone like Pujara. In the existing setup that you are seeing, that we are kind of expecting that this will go to Australia. Do you see anyone who can do that job? Do you see someone like a Shubman Gill being able to do the Pujara kind of job? Do you see anyone in the existing setup being able to do the Pujara kind of job? And question number two, a direct question: are you worried about Virat Kohli in Test cricket? Are you worried about Rohit Sharma in Test cricket? Or are we early in questioning these two stalwarts? Atreyu.
See, the first question is that do we have anybody like Pujara? No, we don't, because Pujara is somebody that you don't get a like for like replacement for somebody like Pujara, because he's one of his kind. The kind of the brand of cricket he played, he was very rare. I mean, not only in India but also in contemporary cricket. So you can't replace a Pujara with somebody exactly like Pujara. But having said that, I mean, you have invested in Shubman Gill at number 3, and on the basis of 1 or 2 failures, you shouldn't really discard him. And to come to the second part, whether whether the time has come to look beyond Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, I would say yes. I mean, it may not be right now. It won't happen before the Australia series, because Rohit Sharma is the captain. Virat Sharma is your, as you said, he's your glam player, and he's also your not that bad a player. I mean, last time in South Africa, it was a very low-scoring series, and he was possibly the best batter uh, from the two teams. But yes, if this failure continues, I think, and I may stick my neck out and say this, that the selectors or the team management, they will take a relook at their careers after this current WTC cycle. I mean, until then, I don't see anything happening. But after this current WTC cycle, which will get over with the final in June, and before which India will play 5 matches in Australia and no more test matches after that, between the final and the Australia series, if they qualify for the final. So I see something happening after that, but not right now. And if you ask me whether it should be or not, I would say definitely, because you need to take a look at Rohit Sharma's contribution. I mean, the team's captain, opening batsman, he hasn't really got big runs of late. I mean, he's trying to replicate the white ball model in the Test match format, where he's taking the initiative, taking the game to the opposition early on, and more often than not, he's paying the price. So that is not going to work for very long. And there are openers who are scoring runs. There are openers who are scoring runs for India A. So the pressure on him will increase. And as far as Virat Kohli goes, as you said, because of the glam factor, uh, that's one of the reasons why it's difficult to take a call. Why it's difficult to drop him straight away. And to be fair to him, he scores runs. I mean, sometimes may not be big hundreds like he did in the past, but he scores runs. I mean, from time to time. In the last test also, he got a 70.
Okay. Okay.
But
Let me go to Rohit on that. So Atreyu is making an important point, Rohit, that after this test cycle, he's not seeing them continue. अगर हम 2011-12 देख लें, Australia series was basically the end of Dravid Lakshman Tendulkar. That Australia 4 test matches, England 4 test matches, that kind of really changed Indian cricket with that 8-0 defeat. And we had a new crop of players come in. Virat Kohli being one of the leading stars who kind of emerged from the shadow of these big boys. Do you kind of see that in Australia? Are you worried? Are you worried? Is batting lineup क्या आपको worry कर रहा है, or are you okay? नहीं, we don't need a Pujara. We are happy with what we have got, and with this batting lineup, हम ऑस्ट्रेलिया को 5 टेस्ट मैच में compete कर सकते हैं, हरा सकते हैं. This is the 3rd time that you can possibly win in Australia. Are you happy with this, Rohit Juglan? Straight question: are you worried about Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, or are you? Because the moment we ask Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, I know and everyone knows that there will be a lot of social media backlash. and abuse, because these are kind of untouchable players. You cannot say anything critical and immediately you will get a lot of backlash. Where do you stand on this, Rohit Juglan?
मुझे बहुत ज्यादा चिंता नहीं है. चिंता थोड़ी सी है रोहित शर्मा को लेकर के. मुझे विराट की चिंता नहीं है, क्योंकि आप कभी भी देखो सीम मूवमेंट थोड़ा सा रोहित शर्मा को प्रॉब्लम में डालता है. अगर आप थोड़ा सा हिस्ट्री देखेंगे रोहित शर्मा की और उनका ऑस्ट्रेलिया में परफॉर्मेंसेस भी देखेंगे, अगर आप खासतौर पे रेड बॉल क्रिकेट के साथ, साउथ अफ्रीका आप रिसेंटली देखिए, साउथ अफ्रीका में रोहित शर्मा की कोई पारी नहीं आई, जबकि वो इंग्लैंड बहुत अच्छा कर आए थे. उन्होंने दो चीजें, उन्होंने एक तो जो अप्रोच अपना ली है कि मैं शायद अब अपने डिफेंस पे उतना ज्यादा ट्रस्ट नहीं करूंगा जितना मैं अपने एग्रेशन पे करूंगा. मेरा ज्यादा फोकस है कि मैं तेज रन दे सकूं और सामने वाली टीम को बैकफुट पर डाल दूं. सेकेंडली हिज टेंटेटिवनेस अगेंस्ट सीम बोलिंग, वो मुझे थोड़ा सा लग रहा है कि रोहित शर्मा के साथ प्रॉब्लम है. बट बाउंसी विकेट्स पे स्क्वायर खेलने वाले ये बहुत अच्छे बैटर्स हैं सारे के सारे. इन्हें अगर कुछ ट्रबल में डालेगा तो वो स्पिन ही डालेगी, और वो मेलबर्न और सिडनी से, और पिछले कुछ समय में ऑस्ट्रेलिया के विकेट्स में वापस से जो है वो आपको जान आती भी दिख रही है. पहले जो 3 टेस्ट होंगे वो तो बहुत लाइवली विकेट्स पे होंगे. पिंक बॉल टेस्ट आपका रियल चैलेंज होगा, जहां पर बॉल मूव होगा, वहां पे इंडियन बैटिंग को मुझे लगता है, और मिचेल स्टार्क दुनिया का सबसे डेंजरस बॉलर है पिंक बॉल के साथ, तो वो आपके लिए चैलेंज जरूर होगा एक, कि वहां पर जब बॉल मूव भी करेगा तो आपके बैटर्स कैसा करते हैं. बट बाकी चारों अगर आप वेन्यूज देखें और मैचेस देखें तो बाउंसी बॉल्स के अगेंस्ट और स्क्वायर ऑफ द विकेट, इन बैटर्स में बहुत ज्यादा कमियां नहीं है. आप इनको रन स्कोर करते हुए देखोगे. तो मैं अगेन जो शमिक दा ने एग्जांपल दिया, बिकॉज मोइन अली रिटायरमेंट अनाउंस कर चुका था और उसको रिटायरमेंट से वापस बुलाया गया, एंड जस्ट स्पेसिफिक फॉर दैट रीजन. लेकिन यहां पर मुझे लगता है कि पुजारा अभी तो देख रहे हैं, पुजारा तो अभी भी फोटोज डाल रहे हैं कि गेटिंग रेडी फॉर अनदर सीजन, इस तरह की तस्वीरें डाल रहे हैं. और जैसा मैंने कहा कि क्या आपके पास कोई स्पेसिफिकली कमी है. हाँ, इंटरेस्टिंग ये है कि जो गौतम गंभीर कह रहे हैं कि हमारे पास ऐसी टीम है जो एक दिन में 400 भी बना सकती है, और ऐसी टीम है जो 2 दिन बैटिंग कर सकती है, लेकिन वो क्या आप कर सकते हो, सबसे बड़ी बात को. और फिर उन्होंने इस टेस्ट मैच की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में ये कह दिया कि टेस्ट मैचेस आर बोरिंग. मतलब आप इस टेस्ट मैच को ड्रॉ करके दिखाइए, आपको पता चल जाएगा टेस्ट मैच बोरिंग नहीं है. अगर टेस्ट मैच में ड्रॉ का रिजल्ट बोरिंग नहीं है, कर दिखाइए. और मेरे को हैरानी हुई, क्योंकि उनका टेस्ट करियर जाना जाता है एक ऐसी पारी की वजह से जो जिसका नतीजा ड्रॉ था, नेपियर वाली पारी, और उसके बावजूद भी अगर गौतम गंभीर जैसा बात कह रहा है तो मुझे थोड़ी सी हैरानी हो रही है. आप कर निकाल दीजिए इस मैच का नतीजा ड्रॉ. देखिए, इससे बड़ा कोई मैच नहीं है फिर इंडियन हिस्ट्री में. अगर आप टॉप इंडियन मैचेस बात करोगे तो इसकी बात करोगे.
Good hard points. Good hard points. Let me take that to Shomik and Devashish. Devashish, quickly to you, and then to Shomik and Gargi also. The point that Rohit is making is that, against the bounce, India is fine. He's actually right. Against the moving ball, we don't score. Bangalore was evidence, 46 all out. Against spin, we don't score 150 all out. So clearly, there is a problem. There is a problem against the moving ball. There is a problem against the spinning ball. Maybe on bouncy wickets, the only thing is because these guys will play square of the wicket shots. They are good enough. So at this point in time, you are saying yes, take Pujara. So who are you going to drop, Devashish Sen? If the current lineup is to be seen, there is a Gill, there is a Jaiswal, who are you going to drop in this current setup to take a Pujara to Australia? Devashish Sen. You're on mute.
It has to be Shubman Gill. It has to be Shubman Gill. If Pujara is brought into the side, means obviously someone has to make way for Pujara. If he is included in the 15-member squad, you have to play him. And obviously that's a long way down. But then, and look at the manner in which Shubman got out today. Means obviously it's basic against the spin bowling. Means obviously in the DRS era, the basic thing is to you have your bat ahead of the pad. And earlier also he survived. He survived. Paul Rifle, he got, the umpires gave him not out and he survived. And the mode of his dismissal. So I think these are basics, but then obviously you cannot mix with the conditions here to what we will get in Australia. But having said that, given the success Pujara got, if he is picked, obviously we have to think, if he is picked, then I would rather see Shubman Gill making way for Pujara at number 3.
Showik, big call. Shubman Gill making way for Pujara at number 3, says Devashish Sen. But 2 parts to my question. How do you kind of accommodate Pujara? And I buy your point about horses for courses, because ultimately this is what will decide the WTC. So it is not simply a test series. It is one series against Australia. It is the unofficial World Championship of Test cricket. Secondly, it will decide the WTC final. So the stakes are at its highest. And at the back of the New Zealand series, assuming you've lost this one, you are actually going to be under enormous pressure in Australia. So you have to treat it as a kind of one-off final. I'm saying the series. So if you take Pujara, what is your combination, Shomik Chakraborty? How do you see the lineup, and are you worried about Rohit and Virat?
Yeah, if if I were a selector, I would have dropped Fras from the playing 11, would have accommodated Pujara at number 3, and would have pushed Shubman down the order at number 5. That is, I know Shubman hasn't played anything lower than opening on number 3, but once again, it's horses for courses. Number 1, Shubman is too talented a player to be dropped, and his batsmanship is at least 2 to 3 levels higher than Sarfraz, for example. Number 1. Number 2 is that, and because and why I have been advocating for Pujara, because like Rohit said and Gautam Gambhir said, if need be, we can bat out for 6 sessions to earn a draw. I don't see anybody, absolutely anybody in this batting lineup who can do that. These guys get restless after 6 to 7 dot balls. They go for a release shot, which is a fashionable name for which is a modern day fashionable name for something that we saw Sarfraz's shot today. It was a release shot, right? So uh, he he made himself look like a fool after the shot. So the thing is that you need temperament to bat out 6 sessions. And who do you need for that? Someone of Pujara's temperament, someone of Pujara's class. Pujara would be ugly. Allow him to be ugly. Allow him, if this is test cricket, allow him to be ugly. As for Virat Kohli,
Yeah, quickly, Shomik, on Virat before I go to Gargi on this. Yeah, tell.
as far as Virat Kohli is concerned, I still won't write him off because just in the previous innings, he played magnificently to score a 7. Was innings such excellence, it was fantastic. But the thing is that he's nearing the twilight zone, and going ahead, he would be even more inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, the word that Shomik used, Gargi, is ugly. Clive Lloyd always says to me that if Test cricket you have to succeed, you must be prepared to look ugly, because unless you are ready to look ugly for 2 hours, you will not be a good Test batter. That is what it is. Unfortunately for India, nobody was willing to do that. Coming back, we've discussed this at length. Let's sort of in the last 15 odd minutes of the show start with you, Gargi. 300 ahead New Zealand. Any chance you see of India? Any chance of India making a match of this, trying to at least be competitive from here on? Because it's still day 2, mind you. It is not day 5 of the Test match. Day 3 traditionally is still good for batting. And Tom Latham has shown evidently you can score runs on this wicket. Even Tom Blundell, with his crazy technique of scoring 20 out of 30 from reverse sweeps, has scored runs. So are we writing India off early, or do you see India coming back in some form, trying to make a match of this, Gargi Rao?
New Zealand lead by 301 runs, are 5 wicket down. But at this point, I think there is a chance for a comeback in this match for India, but it will take a lot. It will take a lot of ugliness, as you said, because the Indian batters will have to grind it out, absolutely bat for 2 days, and get a lot of runs. Not even substantial. I mean, this is what I'm trying to say is it will take a miracle from here on, and I think it's sort of slipped away at this moment. The match has slipped away. Uh, like we call day 3 the moving day. If tomorrow in the first session you can bundle out New Zealand and then get in onto the crease and start batting incredibly well, that is something we want. But what we've seen from India so far is that their idea of turning a match around is batting carelessly and trying to bat aggressively. But that's not something that's going to work at this point, and India will have to come out and grind it out at this point. But chances for a comeback? For can India make a match out of this? I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Rohit Juglan, 10% chance, 20% chance, 15% chance, 0%
more chances, more chances.
No, why? Give me reasons.
या मतलब पहली चीज तो ये कि हम उस एरा में क्रिकेट देखते हुए बड़े हुए हैं जहां सौरव गांगुली, सचिन तेंदुलकर, वीरेंद्र सहवाग, विराट कोहली, इन्होंने हमेशा से मतलब कई ऐसे मोमेंट्स से मैच निकाले हैं. तो मैं बहुत ऑप्टिमिस्टिक हूं. मुझे ये लगता है ये मुझे ये टेस्ट मैच 2008 वाले टेस्ट मैच की याद दिला रहा है. इंडिया वर्सेस इंग्लैंड, चेन्नई टेस्ट मैच. एक अच्छा स्टार्ट, वीरेंद्र सहवाग 68 बॉल्स, 80 ऑड रन्स, 120 130 के स्ट्राइक रेट से. सर 82 somewhere around 120 130 स्ट्राइक रेट. एक अच्छा स्टार्ट अगर आपको मिल गया, चीजें पूरी तरीके से पलट जाएंगी. बिकॉज इस टीम में ऐसे खिलाड़ी हैं जो एक सेशन में आपको 90 से 100 रन स्कोर करके दे सकते हैं. यू हैव ऋषभ पंत डाउन देयर, यू हैव बैटिंग टिल वॉशिंगटन सुंदर. अगर आप क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे थे टॉस के वक्त पे कि वॉशी को क्या बैटिंग बढ़ाने के लिए बुलाया गया है, तो हाँ, बढ़ाने के लिए बुलाया गया है. और अगर आपके पास इतनी लंबी बैटिंग है और अगर आप 350, 360, 370 तक कर सकते हो, तो मेरे हिसाब से जस्ट एक अच्छा स्टार्ट चाहिए. लाइट रोलर करवाओ, 1-1.5 घंटा विकेट पे कुछ नहीं होगा. उस 1-1.5 घंटे में रोहित शर्मा और यशस्वी जायसवाल को 13 से 20 ओवर में लगाने पड़ेंगे T20 के अंदाज में रन, जो उन्होंने कानपुर में किया था. गो फॉर द किल. आप आउट भी हो गए तो भी आप इस टेस्ट मैच को नहीं बचा सकते हो. 1-1.5 घंटा ऐसी क्रिकेट खेलो कि आप 100-150 रन टांग दो बोर्ड पे, और उसके बाद न्यूजीलैंड को बैकफुट पर आता हुआ देखो. एंड देन यू हैव टू स्ट्रगल, बिकॉज फिर वो लाइट रोलर का काम जो है ना, वो खत्म होता हुआ नजर आएगा आपको. विकेट से पफ ऑफ डस्ट दिखने लगेगा. अभी तीसरा ही दिन है, हमें ये नहीं भूलना चाहिए, अभी तीसरा ही दिन कल शुरू होगा. सो आई एम गिविंग मोर चांसेस. बस कल जल्दी आउट करो न्यूजीलैंड को.
Athrev, are you giving any chance to India at all? Rohit is optimistic. Good to see that. Good to see that India is, but there are some people who are as optimistic as Rohit. But can you adopt that approach? Can you kind of do the Bangladesh approach against New Zealand for 2 hours? It's not the same bowling attack. The bowling attack is far, far better than what you have seen in Bangladesh. Can India do that, Athrev? And if you are giving India a chance, what is your approach? How do you go about it, Athrev?
I expect the Indian team to fare better in the second innings than in the first one, but I don't see them winning this. The lead is, at least they will chase something around 350, at least. And the way they batted in the first innings, they looked complicated in the mind. They looked very confused in the mind. So I expect India to do better than in the first innings, but not winning the match. Boria, no.
I will give Shomik the last word. Devashish, are you a little disappointed with India's approach with the ball and Rohit's captaincy in the second innings?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially we should talk about Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja has been a huge disappointment. Means these were conditions that they should have enjoyed. Means given the way Washington Sundar and Mitchell Santner, even for that matter, Glenn Phillips. Means they look like, means obviously that the pitch did play a part, but then slight on a disappointing note, we would have hoped that Ashwin and Jadeja will run through the New Zealand batting, which was not the case. But yes, talking about the outcome, Buriada, I would say India has a very steep ask. Means obviously they might strike up the quick fire. Someone might score 100 or a quick fire, teach a decent partnership. But one ball or two can get you 2-3 wickets in a jiffy. So odds are highly against India as far as saving this test match is concerned.
Sumit Chakraborty, same question. Was India underwhelming? What does India have to do tomorrow morning? Do you see kind of a Indian fight back? Everyone, the one commonality, Rohit Juglan is very optimistic. Athrev thinks India will be better in the second innings. Devashish also is kind of hopeful. What is your thought, Sumit Chakraborty? Will India fight? Do we see some fight coming from India tomorrow?
If India can salvage this game, that would be a miracle. I don't see it's happening. Indian batting lineup can't play the moving ball. In Bangalore, they couldn't play pace. In Pune, they couldn't play spin. Whether it is pace or spin, when the ball is deviating, they struggle. Number one. Rohit mentioned about Viru. It's a different level. I'm not even getting into that. His hand-eye coordination, his ability to pick the length, and then Sachin Tendulkar. Nobody in this team has Viru's skill set. Nobody in this team has Sachin or Rahul Dravid's technique and their all-round game. It would be a miracle for India to salvage this game. I will not be surprised if this match is over towards the fag end tomorrow or early on day 4.
So I have a very optimistic Rohit Juglan, a very pessimistic Shomik Chakraborty, a moderately optimistic Atreya Mukhopadhyay, and a kind of in between Devashish Sen. Gargi unfortunately did not answer this. She wasn't feeling too well.
What's your
So
views,
we will have to wait till tomorrow. अच्छा वो मेरा views मांग रहा है. See, I do think there will be fight, because I've always sort of believed that fight is round the corner, but I also believe that it will be miraculous if India goes on to win this one. I don't give India more than 5% chance, but I also believe, I'm actually with Atreya. I do think we will have a better batting effort in the second innings. I do think that, but I was a little disappointed with the way we handled Tom Blundell. Tom Blundell is not a good enough batsman to score 30 odd runs on this wicket. To allow Tom Blundell to get away, it somewhat seemed you had one short third, you had one short fine, you did not have anyone close because he was playing a couple of reverse sweeps. Why would you allow a Tom Blundell, who has not scored in the 2 innings in this series, to get so many more runs? So kill it. Tomorrow morning, you have to finish New Zealand off within 50, 60 runs. That is step one. Do whatever you need. Get mentally pepped up. Come and close the New Zealand innings by about 250 and then come hard. Because in modern day Test cricket, anything has happened. And still it is day 3, something that we are continuously talking about. Even if we lose, let's make a match of it and not lose by 200 runs or 150 runs, because we are better than what we've seen. This is a fact. We are better than 46. We are better than 150. From what we have played in this series, we have been way below par compared to where India is, and that is disappointing. But on the flip side, this series is a real wake-up call ahead of Australia. I am very confident that India will do better in Australia. The problem with us is when we overdo. In Bangalore, we overdid, lost the toss, put New Zealand, allowed New Zealand to come at us. Here we went and prepared a ranked turner when you did not need to. All you needed was a good wicket. In good wickets, you've beaten the best of opposition. You did not need a ranked turner. In a ranked turner, the mediocre spinners like Mitchell Santner and Ajaz Patel and Glenn Phillips come into play. And Ravichandran Ashwin goes out of play. You don't need to do that. Sadly, India did that. I think in Australia, India will play better. But before that, let's wait and see what happens tomorrow. That's my point of view. But the debate will continue. We will see what happens tomorrow. And the Pujara debate has just about started. A series loss will give it a lot of steam. We will see where it goes. Atreya Mukhopadhyay, waiting for your copy. Shomik Chakraborty, Rohit Juglan, Devashish Sen. Tomorrow is a huge day for Indian cricket. Will it be bad and real bad, or will we see some fight? We'll be back. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.